Happy New Year. Okay, so I'm already behind. How does that happen? I don't know, but I found a way to do it. So I'm going to be using possibly 3 traveler's notebooks for the start of 2018. I know what you're thinking. You're like, how do you not know? I mean, it's already January 2nd. You should already know. Well, I don't. So let's take a little walk through and maybe you can kind of understand where I'm coming from. All right, so this is the Outlander leather in the color Highland Green. It's beautiful. It's in a B6 size. And I really wanted to use this as soon as I saw it and touched it, but I had already started setting up my Outlander B6 Slim in the color Wine. So, this is something I plan on moving into in a couple of months or at the or for the second quarter of the year. But here is the struggle I'm already having. So if you remember and you've been following my channel, you'll know that I purchased 3 planners by Midori. This is one of them, and I also have this one here that's in my Filofax Saffiano, and this is where I used to keep my Hobonichi weeks. And I love this little insert. This is basically just forward planning for me, and it's always with me, so I always know what's coming up as far as appointments that are outside of the house, things like that. And I love it. It works just fine. So the problem I'm actually running into is that I bought this planner, which is a B6 size. And I really thought that I could put it in here and it would be fine. I truly don't like the bulk that it adds because it's so big and so thick. So what I planned on doing was setting up the whole month for meal planning. So like my one big meal of the day where my boyfriend and I were going to be together because he works. So mostly dinner, sometimes breakfast. I could go ahead and plan in advance. And then over here, I was going to be writing in what I ate for the day because I need to start really tracking what I'm eating and how many calories. On December 31st, right before this starts, I thought about, okay, I was truly planning on using it like this, but then I realized that this was not enough space for breakfast, lunch, and dinner because I write big and, you know, snacks involved and water. And if I decided this year I wanted to count carbs or something, there just wasn't a lot of space. And I had already planned over here to put like the one recipe for the week I wanted to try out or something like that. And I was getting really stressed. So I decided also that if I wasn't going to carry this and keep it at home, because I don't want to have to carry 2 traveler's notebooks with me as an everyday carry, this could stay at home and it could still work, but I'm going to be out of the house a lot in the winter time. I just am. And if I don't have a place to write down what I'm eating, I will lose track and I won't keep track. And that's not helpful at all. So I decided that something else needs to go here. I can still put like the one recipe I want to do. Maybe it'll just be recipes in general. I don't know. But I printed something else that I will show you in my everyday carry to go ahead and put my breakfast, lunch, and dinner, like to keep track of calories and all that jazz. So I still haven't figured this out, and that's why it's still blank over here. I already do have a recipe to put over here, and I haven't filled this out as far as meal planning for the month because I just bought groceries yesterday. So I haven't gotten to that, but I will. And then I'll let you guys know how this is working out. But again, this is just going to sit at my desk. So this guy is another one that will be sitting at my desk. So this is the Outlander leather in the color Wine, and it's discontinued, and it's in the size wide, which is a little bit wider than the standard Midori size, but they're the same height. So I had to also mention that I had to replace all of the elastic on all 3 of my Outlanders that I purchased in the holiday sales from Chic Sparrow because the elastic sucked. I don't know about you guys. Did your elastic suck? It was so like, it didn't have as much elasticity. Okay, so a year and a half ago, I think that was the last time I bought a traveler's notebook from Chic Sparrow, I had purchased a couple of the restringing kits, and I still had one of the brown, so I wasn't able to like restring the inside, just the closures, because it was really digging into the leather. It was so tight, and it was kind of like messing up the color. I don't know if you can tell there, but it was really starting to like rip at it. It was horrible on all three of them. And so I basically cut the string exactly the same size. And I had already, I mean, like if you see, there's some space on here, but the other one, I took it down to the tip, trying to make it like, long enough that it would stretch around here and not dig into the leather, and it just wasn't gonna happen. So I cut this exactly the same length, but because this has more stretch in it, it's just beautiful to where, like, I mean, it's like effortless to take off. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know. I was one of those people that was really sad that they didn't think about getting restringing kits when they ordered, but now I'm kind of happy that I didn't. It's sort of like a blessing in disguise, because I hated the elastic. It was horrible. So let's get into, this is my writing journal. And this is actually only going to be half used so far this year. Okay, so I wanted a very boring, mundane journal. I just like to keep track of some things when the kids are here, you know, everyday boring stuff, because I tend to refer to it a lot. And when I'm writing memoir and stuff, it's also very helpful. So this is just a painting that I cut in half, and this was from like an art book, and I just wanted to make it kind of like look pretty or whatever. But this is Traveler's Company, and this is the blank week on one page with memo. So in the beginning here, let me take this ollie clip off. We have a blank space here, and I thought maybe this would be a nice place to put something like your vision board, or possibly like your highlights from the year. So I'm going to leave this blank for right now and fill it up as it goes. And then you have like your perpetual calendar, or whatever you want to call it, where you can like write January and do some forward planning for each day. I personally don't need to do that because I have a planner in here for writing, and I have a separate planner for bills and other things. So this might be something where I again might do vocabulary, or you know, something that I can track that's simple, that's not, you know, me trying to pile on 50 things in one insert, because that just doesn't work for me. I haven't really like figured that out yet, but when I do, you will be the first to know, besides myself. Okay, so then you can kind of see here that I just went to town for last week, and I've already set up this week. So let's go to a blank one. And these are just Cocoa Daisy stickers that I used because why not? It's blank, so you can stamp if you want to. You can do whatever you want. You can stencil. It is what it is. But I'm loving it. It's just a nice little section here, and if I need more space, I move over there, and it's good. Yeah. So the other struggle I had, again, is that this is a Midori Insert. It's supposed to be for like a standard size notebook, and I'm not using a standard notebook right now. So it does fit in here because it's the same height as all of this stuff. It's just not the same width, as you can see. This is a A5 Slim, which fits in here nicely with the wide. So I'm just keeping it loosely on here. I could certainly put it on its own string, but for the sake of not having a fourth traveler's notebook, I'm just leaving it loosely on here, and it's working fine. I've been using it. I started this in December, at the end of December, because I was finished with my other mundane everyday journal. So if you're like me, you understand that when you buy already dated inserts and stuff and you think that's a great idea, I love it, I really wish they all came in the same size so I could fit them all in one traveler's notebook. But right now I have this, which is a standard. I have this planner, which is a wide, essentially, even though it's an A5 Slim, it fits in a wide. And then I have this guy, which is technically a personal size, And then you got this guy, which is a B6 size. So having all the different sizes is really frustrating to me because they all do different things and I love them all separately, but I really wish they were all the same size so I could fit them in one traveler's notebook, but that's just like not the case. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, so this goes in here as my journal because this is my writing journal. And then this is my planner that I have for 2018 for writing, and I haven't really set up a bunch in here either because I have been crazy busy with orthodontist appointments. I got my braces off, yay! So I've had my niece and nephew for the majority of the time, and so I really just have not had time to do anything. So anyway, all I have in here really are some deadlines that I know that I need to meet, and over here I want to be tracking what I'm writing every single day, which is simple and easy, and some goals possibly down here, and just some more notes on what I've been writing. I think it's just enough that I only have to deal with 4 pages instead of an entire insert for a month, that I think it'll get filled up nicely and I won't feel overwhelmed because there's not so many pages to fill, you know what I mean? And this is just, it just repeats. So I love this. I love this. I really wish it would fit in a standard with this guy, but it's not going to happen. So it is what it is. Again, this is some more artwork from that book that I just, you know, tore up, which is probably sacrilege, but I mean, I don't know. As long as it makes you happy. Okay, so this insert is exactly the same as my B6 sized insert. So that one, I just went ahead and I blew it up, okay? Because I was just like, I love this insert. I want to use it. And since the B6 is exactly the same width as a wide, it's just not as tall. You can see that it comes to the edge, which makes me really, really happy. So I ended up blowing it up to, I believe, 110%. And this is just exactly the same setup. There's a 50-page dot grid insert. And in the center, I printed out those same like 6 sheets. And you'll see this is for writing. The other one is supposed to be for my planning like health and stuff. So you'll see here I've already started with writing. I basically wrote some big things I want to get done, broke them down into smaller bits here, and then took those bits and, you know, I'm going to be spreading them out throughout the quarters. If you end up getting a B6 sized insert and you want to blow it up to wide, it fits beautifully. I mean, look at it, it comes to the edge. It's fantastic. So this is just my quarterly goals for writing. It's one less thing that in a bullet journal I have to like draw out because that's ass. So I'm happy that I did that. And again, that was by pencil or pen, and I will link it down below. So this is my Piccadilly notebook. And this is a Moleskine notebook. And basically these two are going to stay empty probably until the second quarter of the year, because right now I still have a writing journal because I'm still trying to finish a book that I wrote in 2017, and the editing with illnesses and the death in family members, I just have not gotten around to finishing it, and it's time to stop using all of that crap for excuses and just get it done. But I haven't finished filling out my last writing journal. So instead of moving into this and feeling guilty about not finishing the other one, I'm just going to finish the other one. Who cares? It's my rules. I make them. Not everything has to be new because it's a new year. You know what I'm saying? The old system's working and that's perfectly fine. So if you feel the same way, don't. It's okay. I'm right there with you. So anyway, I just like for the notebook to look full, and it doesn't look full with 2 inserts in it. It just seems weird and awkward. And so I put these 2 in here, and I'm not really itching to use them, so it's okay for me. This one is like for project pages, or can be an insert for planning. So if I ever wanted to go ahead and make this my everyday carry and just try out a wide for a while, because why not? I'll tell you why not, because it's going to be heavy as hell, but I do miss the standard size, and this is pretty close. I could make this the everyday carry. The thing is, this is something I do like 10-15 minutes at the end of the day. I just fill it out. And this, again, is just for writing. So it doesn't have like appointments or anything that matters outside of the house. This is only for like when I'm sitting at my computer typing or writing. And this is also, you know, just goal setting and what have you for writing. So none of these things actually need to leave my house. It would just be these 2 things. I could still carry them all. I don't know why I'd want to do that, but you know, it's probably something stupid I will do. So basically for right now, I am just leaving this at my desk and that's working out fine. I love how I say it's working out fine, but it's like only day 2 of the year. So what does that even mean? You know what I'm saying? Okay. So now we're on to my everyday carry. This is a B6 Slim, also by Chic Sparrow, in the color wine, which again is discontinued, but it's beautiful, beautiful leather. All 3 of my traveler's notebooks I've shown you are in the classic. And again, I did restring the outside elastic because it was hideous. All right, so this still looks like red velvet and it's so beautiful. I just love this notebook, you guys. I can't even express how happy it makes me. So I am using, oh Lord, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inserts in here and 4 of these Chic Sparrow dashboards, which I'm loving. Because I'm a lazy planner, I am over decorating things. So it's nice to have these dashboards because I just stuck some of these postcards that I had from sending to pen pals and stuff. And so anytime I actually need a postcard, I can just, you know, take them out and replace it, which is totally fine. And it matched really nicely with this beautiful like wine color. It's so pretty. Yeah, so there wasn't like a lot of decorating that needed to happen here. So this is a 2018 printable that I stuck in here so I get to see the full year. That way I don't have to draw it out because again, I'm a lazy planner and I'm just not going to do that kind of work. Even if I am using a bullet journal, if I can get around having to draw this shit out, I will. Over here I have some stickers, and this is from Cocoa Daisy. I believe a friend gave them to me and I just thought I would throw them on here because why not? So the first insert is an insert by, I think it's Design Made My Day. I was really a sad panda because I've really been eyeballing their weekly insert, but something happened and today is January 2nd and literally today was the first day they had inserts for 2018 up, which was so disappointing because I mean, I had to get my system set up beforehand, right? Mostly because I'm impatient, but also because that makes sense. So something happened and on their Etsy shop, I believe they still don't have 2018 inserts up, but on their like .com website, they do. I believe they were only in German right now, which on their Etsy shop, they usually give you a printout that's German and English. But when I was reading what they had underneath as a description on the website, it didn't say that it came in English. It just says German. So I didn't know what to do. So I didn't get them. So hopefully they'll get that all figured out. And next quarter, I can hopefully get that insert because I wanted to try it. So this is an insert by them. I did not print it the way it's supposed to be printed. I basically took page, I think like 1 and 2 and printed them back to back over and over again. So it looks like, let me show you a blank one. It looks like this. So you have the table of contents, and then when you turn the page, I think most of them are supposed to look like this. But I liked having the list of 1 through 30. I think that's a nice round number for the year, like 30 movies or 30 books or 30 TV series or 30 trips or, you know, whatever. I just liked that. So I just reprinted, like I said, I think the first and second page over and over again. So I have a list for TV shows, and I have a ton of these already written down in my A6 bullet journal. I just haven't had time to transfer them all. I just kind of wanted to show you how it works. So right here it says table of contents. You can take washi tape, which will start to bulk up the insert after a while, but I thought I would show you. But I'm just fine with like not even washi taping it and writing whatever it is in the corner. I don't even care. I'm making it work for me. Here you can go ahead and write in the numbers in these boxes if you want to. Or you can also like go ahead and do like project pages in here. So if you had like a project that has a bunch of steps, Like say you're writing a book about cats, you can put it here, and then you can write each name for the chapters here and mark them off as you go, or whatever, something like that. If you wanted to clean like a certain zone, like your bathroom, and you wanted to hit like the toilet, you wanted to wipe down the walls, you know, all that kind of stuff you can do in here. I just like the way it looked. And you can see here that the same number 30 is on every page because it's like a bullet journal setup with this table of contents. And I wanted these 2 pages. I don't know. Whatever. So this is basically going to be my collections, and this really doesn't need to go with me. For right now, I put it in here because I need to get it started and I need to start looking at it and using it, and I felt the best way to do that is to go ahead and carry it with me. And once I get set up, after the quarter is over, if I move into a B6 or I decide to go with the wide, this is something I can just keep at home at my desk in this B6 slim, and it's fine. So no worries there. And then I do have, I think that this is hilarious. It's so funny. My friend Danny gave it to me. Hi, Danny. Awesome. And then I had some die cuts of butterflies that I put throughout here. Again, I just love these because it makes, I mean, look how pretty it is. And I didn't even do anything. I basically had this lying around, threw them in there, and it looks nice. So I totally recommend these dashboards. And then the second insert is my bullet journal. And I think that I'll be able to use this for 2 months, but I'm not really sure. I have some stamps in here, and I just stuck in the Chic Sparrow sticker. And then again, these are from Coco Daisy, and I just, you know, planning agenda, threw them on there. Breathe, write, sleep, repeat. Absolutely. And I did stamp in here, but again, since I've been so far behind, I haven't even written my intentions, so I can start filling these in as I go. Okay, so the first thing in here, this is like a, you know, an Alistair method / forward logging, planning, future, whatever page, right? So the way that this is going to work is I'm going to write my tasks over here, and I have a couple of different ways I want to do it. So like, let's say I want to wash my bedding once a month. I can just put a dot here and then cross them out. But there's certain things like dyeing my hair where I might need to know what day I did it. So I put the 2nd, which is today, because I plan on dyeing my hair tonight. So in February, I know when it's exactly been 5 weeks. So you can put actual days for that month if you want to, or you can just put dots because it doesn't actually matter what day you did it on as long as you know, get the task done. So these are just big things that I know I'm going to do once a month, maybe every other month. And that's what's going to go here. And again, I haven't finished filling it out. And I did put a like migrating symbol and a scheduling symbol for some things because I might also put some projects that don't have to do with writing here that I might not get to. Now I did go ahead and break it down to quarter 1, which is January, February, and March. And then quarter 2, which is April, May, and June. I don't personally believe I'm going to be in this insert for 6 months. But again, sometimes when you're having a brain dump or you're thinking about things, you put them down here and you realize, yeah, I'm not even get to that until the 2nd quarter. Now this, I'm very excited about. So this is kind of new and I'm really loving it. I ended up getting this idea from Romany's Realm a while ago, and I thought I would try it out, and I was really sad panda to find out I couldn't do it in the A6. So if you decide that you like some of my setups and you want to try them out, know that this is a Traveler's Company insert that I cut down. The lined paper, because I actually like the line, but it only has like 27, I think, lines in here, which is roughly the same as this. So you can't do 31 lines for the month. And I believe that's because this is like 7mm, which a lot of like lined notebooks are 7mm, whereas this is like 5mm, so there's more space on the grid insert. So definitely, if you want to cut down your grid inserts by Traveler's Company to fit in your B6 Slim, know that you should definitely get the grid because there's not enough lines in the lined insert. Okay, so I ended up putting appointments here, Instagram, YouTube, and bills. I like this because I can see everything all on one spread instead of having 1, 2, 3, 4 different pages or inserts or spreads for these things. So the bills, depending on how much bills you're going to be paying, or, you know, just you want to focus on bills this year, it's nice to have something like this. YouTube, it's nice for me to see that I'm being consistent and uploading on a day, because I'd really like to get to a schedule. Right now, I just know myself and I'm just too busy to say, okay, every Tuesday, absolutely, I'm going to have a video up. But I'm trying to track that to see if there's a day that works best for me. Instagram, you could do this like in a, what's it called? In a tracker, but I actually like the space because I like to write down what I actually uploaded. So I uploaded a picture on the 1st of my weekly health tracker. So the next time I might do one on like my B6 Slim, so that when I get down here, I can see, oh, I have a B6 and I've been using it for a while, but I haven't even uploaded a picture to let people know. I'm trying to be better about Instagram because as someone who has anxiety disorder, social media makes me really nervous, so I am working on it. For appointments, I like to be able to see all of my appointments for the month. I don't know if I'm going to keep this for next month because I already found that I'm writing a lot of these appointments in 3 different places, and I don't like that. I mean, it's nice that I know when my appointments are, but it's a little out of control writing them 3 times. So it's something I need to figure out and work on. We'll see how it goes. Down here, I put the line all the way across so I could see where this week ends and this one begins. But up here, I just put a line underneath the Sunday to divide Sunday and Monday. And I was just trying to see, you know, which one I preferred. I don't think that it matters either way, but I was just trying it out. So that's why there's one line here and I didn't do it to the rest. I'm just seeing how it goes. If I don't like this, I can always erase it because it's just with a friction pin. So that's for that line. Okay, over here I was like, okay, I'm going to do some January challenges. It's day 2. I have done nothing. But here's the thing. Anytime I do challenges anyway, I always usually like miss 3 days or like a week, and then I sit down and I do like a week or 2 at a time. So this is not really a big deal. I can still catch up. It's only day 2. So over here, I have my sporadic tracker, and this is just where I ended up sticking my, what is this? Oh, this is my niece's receipt from the library of the book she checked out. So I would remember when they're due back and what book it is, because she lives in a different house and sometimes I have to go to my sister's and search for the book. So that's why that's in here. But this is my sporadic tracker. So things that I don't do on a weekly basis that don't necessarily have a specific day, I just put here because they're things that need to get, like sweeping, mopping the toilet, sink, mirrors, changing my razors. So I just need to keep track of them. You can see here I have kids and I have 31 over S, and that just means the last time they spent the night was the 31st on New Year's Eve because my sister worked. And then underneath is just the day of that week so that I can see how many times a week they're spending the night. And, you know, I just like to keep track of things like that. Okay, so over here I have my weekly spread. This was the last one that I did in my bullet journal, and I loved it so much that I decided to keep it in this one. Okay, so basically I am keeping appointments here, and this is my frustration because I already have appointments over here, right? But when you need to like forward plan your appointments, because this appointment I've had for 5.5 weeks, this is good. But then I pull from here and I put them throughout the week. So I understand why I have them here because I check them off here. I don't actually check them off here. So I have this little open circle for appointments and events, and then I just fill them in as I do them. So that's how that kind of works. You'll see here I have gym with my niece Rita at 6 a.m. tomorrow. Oh my gosh, that's early. And I have a little circle so that it's an open task, or so that it's an open event. And down here I've written half day because on Wednesdays my niece and nephew have half day. So it's important for me to remember, hey, you don't have until like 4 o'clock. You only have until like 2. Here I have weekly highlights. So I've been putting a couple things. Today I got my braces off. Woohoo! And I also paid them off today, which was pretty awesome. So I have this here, which is next week. That's great. So this is always in my mind's eye because it's right there. Here I have my weekly tasks. So this doesn't really go on the sporadic tracker because these are things I tend to do every week. So I have this set up, this kind of like Alistair method for that. And then I have one for tasks over here because these are not things I do on a weekly basis. Like my nephew and my boyfriend are going to get their haircuts on the same day. I'm going to be dyeing my hair. We're just doing a hair day today. So it's like stuff like that. And this is like the Alistair method I've had before. I'm just not like breaking it down into categories at this point. And then buying groceries. So this you will recognize from when I first set up my bullet journal. I had a morning routine, a nightly routine, and then an indoor exercise routine. And this is what I was getting ready for winter time when I can't bike or do hills outside as much. So I used to have, I think, 9 things to check off for my nightly routine. And I don't know. It was ridiculous. I didn't need that many. So now I have 6. I probably only need 5, but for the sake of things like being parallel, I needed to have 6. So that's what I did. So for the sake of things being like equal, I have 6. I probably don't need writing because I track that somewhere else, but it is what it is. So basically I'm going back to what I did when I first started my bullet journal, where I had 3 days to a page, because I have so much space. I mean, look at all these inserts. I really don't need that much note space like I needed before, if that makes sense. So I just have like charge Jade's iPad for trip tomorrow. So these are like a little bit longer notes. There's some space for that. I have a question mark here because again, here's a space where I have written out my orthodontist appointment, but I already have it here and I already have it here. You know what I'm saying? Is like, do I really need to write it on my dailies? So I don't know if I'm going to be putting appointments on dailies anymore because they're here. And this is probably where I need to be looking for appointments. Whereas this should probably just be for tasks and any kind of notes about tasks, if that makes sense. And that is everything that's in here. On the back, I do have this set up, and I had this before. This is just YouTube videos that are coming up or that I want to get done in 2018 so far. Spoiler alerts. And then I just have like things that I need to check off. This insert I think will last me for 2 months. There's 64 pages in here. I'm also going to be writing like notes for videos for YouTube in here. Stuff like that. So it might last for 2 months. I might stay in this for a month and then go into my other B6 Slim, which is the Time Traveler color. I might go ahead and move all of this stuff into that just to, you know, change it up. Why not? And I will change these out so that they match better with the blue. Okay, and so now we are into my third insert. And this is just my writing on the go. Just a writing journal. I have some stickers in here I can be using here as well. That's why I love these things. Then I have my fourth insert. And this is wrapped around by one of these zippy pouches. And in here, I just have some rulers, Hobonichi Weeks ruler and stencil. And I have some, these are like flags that I like to use to highlight things, and these are flags that I like to flag things with. This is for washi tape, but I haven't gotten around to putting it around there yet. And in here, I just keep a bunch of those Cocoa Daisy stickers and other planner stickers and some masking stickers. So this insert is a printable by Growing Up Goddess. And it actually does not come with this title. I just wrote the title on there. But the rest of the insert is exactly how it comes. So let me show you an empty one. So it looks like this. It says this week, and you have 3 to a page here and then 4 to a page. So this is actually what's going to be replacing this as my food journal on the go, because I don't want to carry this in my purse with a wallet with this. It's just too much. So I like the fact that this has 1, 2, 3 boxes. So I can go ahead and put breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I've already been using it for the first day, and there's just a lot of space. So what's really nice is I can write out everything I've eaten, the amount of calories for everything and the total calories, as well as my water intake for, you know, this period of the day. And if I wanted to write how many carbs I ate or whatever diet I decide to go with, there's space for that as well, plus notes for the entire week, which is awesome. So if you haven't found something for a health journal, I would highly recommend this. Now, I am a sad panda, and you might notice here that these are not even. I don't know what happened. I printed the even side first, then I put them back in and printed the odd side, and they don't line up properly. You can see here. Luckily, the inside is just fine, and who cares, right? And this is the thin Tomowa River paper, but I'm really bummed. I don't know if it's the PDF or if my printer was catching the pages differently. I don't know what happened. It's really weird. I have owned a lot of inserts by Growing Up Goddess, and that's never happened before. They're always perfectly centered and aligned. So it might have been something with my printer. I don't know. So that's a bummer, but it's, I mean, obviously usable and perfectly fine. I'm not going to freak out about it. It's a new year, and I'm just going to let it go. Then my 5th insert is not even connected. Why? Okay, so I really don't like to write on a big hump. I've talked about that a million times. And having this, not the insert itself, but all of the crap that I have in the folder, it's just going to make this crazy. So I like to be able to remove this so that I can write on any of these at any given time, and there's no really big hump. That makes me very happy. So what do I have in here? I have all 4 of my Hobonichi stencils, minus the weeks because it's tall, so I keep it over there. I have this. So this is nice to put washi tape or stickers that you want to use if you don't want to take the whole pack of stickers or sheet. And then I made this with a postcard. I've seen a bunch of people do this, and I stuck on a Target dollar spot pocket, and I just have some stickers in here along with these detachable page flags that I love. Several of these journaling cards because I tend to use them for tip-ins and stuff like that. And I have some book darts because I've been using those a lot in here, as well as these guys. And they just fit in there nicely. So this is an ideas notebook, and I just covered that with a sticker, but I thought this would be great. I can't remember how many pages. Is there 80 pages in here? I can't remember. But I thought this would be great for long-term notes, and they're not just like any kind of long-term notes. These are going to sort of be my educational notes / commonplace notes. So like, for instance, in here, I've already written down a bunch of names of family members because I like to look up people's names and write down what they mean. Here I have abbreviations. So the other day, we were talking about SOS. I don't even remember why. And I just was like, what does it even stand for? I had no idea. So I, of course, Googled it. And a lot of people think it stands for Save Our Souls. A lot of people think it stands for Save Our Ship. It doesn't. But it just was a fascinating little thing that I looked up. And then I found out they're not even using it anymore. So I wrote down what they are using. And of course, this is Morse code. And I thought, oh, I don't really know Morse code. And since we've been watching a lot of doomsday stuff lately, I was like, that's probably a thing I should know. So of course, I looked up Morse code and then I wrote it out. And of course, you can tell the difference between the letters and the numbers because letters only have like 4 digits, whereas the numbers have 5. And so it was fascinating because I started to tell my niece and nephew about this, and my niece and I, we started writing in Morse code. She's 7, so I was giving her like little phrases and she was like decoding them, and she thought it was like the coolest thing ever. So it's just like random stuff like that people probably don't do, but I mean, I do. I have an Ancestry DNA, and I can just erase this. I just left a space for it. I did do the Ancestry.com DNA test, and I'm very excited. Mine's processing right now, but my boyfriend got his back, and he's like all kinds of things, which I knew he would be because he's Puerto Rican, and it just basically means that you're mixed. He's really, really mixed. It's hilarious. So I thought I would write down some things about that here. Yeah, and so that's like, if I watch TED Talks, which I do a lot, or documentaries, this is just a nice place where I can put some educational notes where like I can say, okay, did you know this? Or what about that? I just wanted a space for that. So this is something that I don't need to carry with me everywhere. But again, I find if I don't carry things with me and keep it in the same traveler's notebook, it'll sit at my desk and I'll forget about it. So for right now, it's not a problem because again, I just don't have it hooked on to anything. I can take it out. Like I mentioned, I have a B6 that I'm going to be using, and I have a wide that I'm already using, and I really love my standard. So I know that for this year, the B6 Slim is the smallest size I'm going to be using for the year. So that's something to be thinking about if you haven't done a collections notebook or a commonplace notebook or a long-term notebook, whatever you want to call it. Definitely think about the fact that you probably go in and out of inserts, and the best thing to do is to get the smallest size that you're going to be using for the year and make that your long-term notebook so it'll fit in no matter what traveler's notebook you're going to use for the year. And that is my setup. Man, whew, that was a long explanation. I'm basically going to be just using 2 traveler's notebooks, and this, it just works best having it, you know, on my desk somewhere outside of a traveler's notebook. And I know that I still haven't done like a follow-up on how my 3 months in this worked out and everything. I've just been crazy busy, but be looking for that video sometime soon. Okay, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.